Hello.
Hi.
How is everyone tonight, chat? How are you? Thank you, first of all, Jen, for being here with us tonight. I appreciate it greatly.
Happy to be here.
And of course, Skuba. Hello.
How y'all doing tonight, everybody?
So, Skuba, you had an interesting little stint right before we went live. What'd you do?
I was telling Lefty how I was just went and picked up 60 gallons of salt water to fill up my saltwater tank, and it was a pretty fun experience. I'm gonna do a little short video on it, but yeah, it was just lots of water everywhere. I was like covered in salt water, like, oh yeah, it was good.
That's no good.
Have you ever done saltwater, Jen?
I have a saltwater tank. It's been running for about 12 years, 13 years.
Wow.
Wow, that's what
I'm about to do a legit saltwater tank, so stay tuned.
Oh,
right.
Don't tell anybody.
Mine's empty for 2 years.
What'd you say there?
Mine's sat empty for 2 years.
It happens.
But
it's running now.
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
I still don't have one.
That's okay. You'll get there.
Jumped in. I mean, I know the tank I want to use is just currently filled with fresh water and fish, so I just gotta wait, and eventually it'll be salt water, I think.
Maybe
someday.
You can do it.
So, people in chat, if anyone has questions for Jen at any point throughout the stream, just make sure you tag me so I can catch them, and then we'll get to them when we can. So, Jen, do you want to tell the people about yourself and what you do real quick? No? Okay. Bye. Stream's over. Bye.
See y'all later. Thanks for coming.
Night, y'all.
Let's see. I am Jen Williams. I am an aquascaper. I'm actually a brand ambassador for OWASA, which is pretty cool. I've been aquascaping for a really long time. I don't know. I guess 2007 was my first contest. It was in 2007 when I found Guapa. And it's been downhill since then.
So let's see, 2007, I was a sophomore in high school?
No.
Yeah, I didn't even take it there.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I didn't mean it like that. I had a fish tank.
Sorry, you're forgiven.
And you go to fish stores now and do demos and things, right?
I do. We've actually started a new ambassador program where they have tier levels of stores so far as OWASA products go, and then the top tier are entitled to a visit by me or Jeff, and we go to the store and we can do a meet and greet, or we can do a demo, or we can do whatever the store owners want. It's pretty cool. They just kicked that off, I think, last month. So we've got a few already booked, but trying to book the rest.
All right. So I'm sure you'll get very busy very soon.
How much does something like that cost somebody?
Well, if you're one of the top tier level shops, then it's free. It's a complimentary service that we provide, which is cool.
That's cool.
But otherwise, if you're not OWASA branded, I can do it freelance, and then with their support.
It's pretty neat.
Right.
But we would rather you sell our product.
All right.
Of course. Leo is asking what you can tell us about the canister filters that OWASA has.
Where to begin? They're actually really awesome. Personally, and of course I'm biased, but I bought my own OWASA filters before I was an ambassador, so I'm not that biased. The Biomaster filters are really pretty awesome for two main reasons, along with all the other reasons. They have this built-in pre-filter, so it's just like a sponge pre-filter, and you can just, when you do your maintenance, you just shut it off, and you can just pull the pre-filter out instead of having to undo your whole canister to get through and do the maintenance. So that's awesome for people that don't like a lot of maintenance, like me. And then they also have the built-in heaters, which is nice. So it's one more piece of equipment that you can get out of the aquarium. So, a couple of really nice touches that nobody else is doing. Aside from that, it's really, it's German, so it's super high quality. They don't put out garbage. I have never had a problem with any of the ones that I've had. Now I have many.
I love the one that I have on my tank.
Yeah, which one do you have?
The Biothermo 250. Actually, my first Aquashella I had bought set it from I call it Awase booth from you guys. It was one that Jonathan Butkus had set up, and then I ended up becoming real close, kind of friends with him, and he kind of teaches me about different plants and stuff like that. So that's pretty
Jonathan's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a good one. But yeah, I actually picked up the 25-gallon one of the rimless tanks from there, and it came with the filter and stuff. So
that's awesome.
That's been running for a few years over at my buddy's house.
Cool. So
I'm the odd one out. No canisters here.
That's all right. We still love
hang on back and sponge here. But I do have that cool hang on back that we had at the class. That was was that a thermo? What was that called again? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm sorry?
What was that one called? Do you remember?
Oh, the hang on backs?
Yes.
BioStyle.
Oh, okay.
BioStyle.
I do like the heater in those too. It's kind of a nice feature. You don't have to worry about anything, and it's all nice and contained.
Yep. And I like also how wide they made the flow output. They really did put a lot of science into it to make sure that it was nice and gentle, but it still gave you enough agitation of the surface to help with the oxygenation. I mean, they put a lot of thought into their products. That's probably going to be a recurring theme anytime you ask me about the product.
And those had some kind of like override feature where like the impeller got clogged or something, they shut themselves down, right?
Yeah, so we kind of had problems with that, and I was still kind of new to the product, so I apologize to anybody that I didn't have an answer for. But they have an internal override, so if there like a piece of sand comes up and clogs the impeller from spinning, they'll try to do a couple of jump starts on its own to dislodge whatever the particle is, and then if it can't, it'll shut itself down so that it doesn't damage itself, which is pretty awesome because nobody else.
I wish all filters did that.
Yeah, right.
It would be very nice and save a lot of work.
Yep. But it's, if you don't know that that's what it's doing, you think that it's a garbage filter because it keeps turning off and it won't start. Right. But a lot of you guys, I wasn't in it, but a lot of the competitors had a lot of sand, a high sand bed. So the filters, the only place they could go was basically almost in the sand. So they were all like sucking sand up, and it was fun. We're going to do it a little different this year.
At least we solved the problem and it was fixed, and no one, had no filter.
Yep.
I think it's only, I can't remember. I think it was only 3 out of the, what was it, 11 or 10 we had?
I think there was 11, yeah.
And I remember 3 people, I think, having issues.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like all of them.
Right.
Just a couple people.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you for that clarification.
Leo asked another question. German versus Italian, and we're asking about filters. What Italian company is there?
CJ.
Oh, okay.
I cannot speak to that because I'm going to say German.
I would say German too. And not just because you're up here. I actually have a reason behind that. I'll tell more about it, but we won't go into detail.
Are you part German, Skuba?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
See, I'm not going to be able to pick because I'm part German and Italian aside from the Irish and Scottish. So I'm just going to say both of them because I think I have both. I have one of theirs and one of yours. So I like them both. So I know you're helping with the Aquascape this year. What other events do you have on your calendar so far?
So the next one is Aquafest down in Louisiana, in New Orleans. And that's almost exactly a month from now. So we'll be down there. We'll have a booth. And then I have a store visit in New Jersey, ACC, up in I think eastern, like the shoreline of Jersey.
Okay.
And then I will be, after that is Aquashella in Dallas. We'll do that. And then the other Aquashella now it's in Daytona instead of Orlando. Yes. But that's not until I think November this year. And
I believe so, yeah.
Everything in between is just, we'll find out. Basically.
I hear you on that.
Yep.
Look, I'm trying to read this question and decipher it before I read it. Leo, can you specify what that means? Because my brain is not processing that question. Hey, Danica, thank you for
he
the
was
11 months.
asking if you could use any type of heater, or does it have to be the Awase?
Oh, if you could switch
heaters
out the
they
internal heater for a
sell.
different one, is that the question, Leo?
I think they sell special ones that lock in place, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
exactly. So you can only use ours because they are designed to work with the filter exactly to be able to lock in and seal, because you don't want anything that's not going to be able to seal. So that's, you have to use
that could
ours.
be an issue.
Mhm.
You want your
It's kind of nice
filter. Yeah.
to not have all the water on your floor.
Oh, it's
And
got
some
me
people might want that. They want to plan on flooding their basement, turning into a giant tank.
I'm not
To each their
judging.
own.
Do you? You do you.
So I'm trying to remember if there were any questions from the last time you were on that I forgot to ask. The biggest one was making sure we got the Awase thing in there to make
The
sure
plug.
people knew. Yes.
Yep. Thank
I
you.
should get the plugs in.
That's right. Appreciate it.
Now I
So
can't
what are
remember if
you
I
guys
asked this
doing
last
this year?
time. I am only going to be able to commit. I'm going to say the Clash and maybe Aquascapes down in Florida.
Cool.
Since I just bought a car and I have a car payment now, so gotta cut back.
Well,
That's cool.
it's all
though.
right.
It's worth it. Sometimes you got to scoop out on stuff. Like I'm skipping out on Dallas because I need to save up a little money. But I'll probably be trying to make the Clash in not the Orlando, but the Daytona Aquashella for sure. I'll be
Cool.
in. Definitely need to get out of Kentucky in November. So
Is it bad there?
yeah, it's cold today. It was freezing cold. Like I was freezing my butt off trying to bring.
Same.
Look,
Southerners and you're
it's-
cold.
it's 31
Whatever.
out there right now.
How
Oh my
many?
gosh, it's warmer here.
31 and wet. I was.
Ugh. Yeah, and cold and wet there's nothing worse, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I would rather be. Yeah, it's actually warmer here. It's 50 here now, which is weird.
Balmy.
It's been a bizarre winter.
Yes.
I'm telling you, the Kentucky weather is just so bipolar. It's just crazy.
It just seems like everybody that normally has warm winters is getting all the cold and snow, and those of us that get the cold winters seem to be having like warm weather the whole time.
Yep. We have had zero measurable precipitation in the form of snow this winter. Wow. None. It's really weird. I don't like it. I like snow. I don't want to be buried in it, but like, maybe 6 inches where everybody has to stay home.
To make everything look pretty.
Yep.
Right. I don't mind a little bit of the snow, but it's the slushy, melty part that I hate. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the good thing, though. We've gotten snow. It's been 50 degrees the next day, so it doesn't last, and the roads are good, which is kind of the best way versus, northern Maine, where we'd get a foot of snow, and then a week later, another foot, and then another foot. And you have snow up to your roof by the end of the winter.
No.
And you'd be driving through corridors of snow on the side of the road. It was kind of weird.
Where were you in northern Maine?
I was up in Caribou.
No, that's where my mother's from. Nobody's from there. Weird.
Y'all might be related.
My sister moved up to Fort Kent when she was like 13-ish with her mom. So when I went to college, I went and moved in with my sister and brother-in-law, and they were in Caribou. I went to Umpy for school in Presque Isle. And then I worked at Seitel in Limestone, which is all right there.
We'll have to talk later about that, 'cause that's pretty cool.
Leo was asking how strong and reliable the heaters are in the filters. I know mine stays at the consistent temperature.
Yes.
I haven't noticed it fluctuate crazy. So
the BioStyles are a predetermined temperature, so they don't have any adjustment to them. I think it's 77 degrees.
I was just gonna say I'm pretty sure it's 77. I was gonna see if I could look it up real quick though.
But so far as the canister filters, I'm not sure how to answer that question so far as how strong they are. Are you asking like wattage? maybe. And I would have to go look because I don't remember. But I mean, I haven't had problems, but I guess that's not really an answer you're looking for. I don't have a
It's a good enough answer for Leo.
Okay, sorry. Not sure exactly how to answer that one.
On here, I'm sure they. Okay, Amazon. The Amazon description says approximately 79 for the BioStyle thermos for the hang-on backs.
Really?
So I'm gonna guess that's like plus or minus 2, like most presets.
Sure.
And I think mine stays at like 78. So
yeah, it's 77 or 78. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus with the little thermometers you stick on the side.
Those are fun, aren't they?
Yeah, those always read 77-ish.
and Leo, my interview went fine yesterday after I found the place.
Oh no.
Well, first of all,
What'd
there's
you
an
interview
accident
for?
on the only route there, which made me late. And then my
no.
phone took me down the wrong street, which made me even later.
Ugh.
I was for a summer camp teacher kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
Since again, now that I have a car payment, I should probably get a summer thing while I'm out of school.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not good, Geek Boy.
That's what I was about to say.
Let's see. Now, I can't remember if I asked this question last time you were here or not, but what is your favorite size tank to scape?
Gosh, I think it depends on what I'm trying to do in the tank. Usually for the contest tanks, like these guys, they're at the. I don't want to say it out loud because it's a competitor. the Owasa tanks that are Scaper lines that came out, they are excellent. They're a really good footprint. But I've had these longer, so I'm more comfortable with them, and they have a little bit more front to back working space. But the if you're on the market right now, I am going to shamelessly plug the Scaper lines. They are really, really well dimensioned, and the whole set, you get the whole setup. So you get the tank, the stand, the filter, everything, just rock and roll. I do like that the 90s are 90 centimeters, so they're a 3-foot tank, which is a really nice footprint without having to get too crazy with hardscape. Because anything over like 3 feet, you got to have a lot of hardscape to work with to fill it up and make it look like it's not empty. So really, that's about as far as I like to go. I will probably get a 4-foot tank sometime in the future, but right now I'm happy with the 3-foot tanks.
Okay.
So you prefer the longer tanks over like such a more column style taller tank?
Oh, all day, every day. I hate tall tanks. You know why? Because the tall tanks are really difficult to get light penetration if you're growing plants.
Right.
You have to have a super, super strong light to get all the way down to the bottom. Yeah. And you have to go swimming every time you do maintenance. So that's no fun.
Yeah, that's true.
I pulled up the product page for the Scaper tank. If people want to peruse while we're talking.
Oh, they said clever features. They are clever.
And that's why I love when they ask, they're like, can you multitask? And I'm like, 100% I can multitask.
Good for you.
Let's see.
Daniel has a question.
Oh, Leo was wondering, are the ones in the canister filters preset, or can you set those yourself?
No.
For the temperature?
They're like regular heaters. You can adjust them.
All right. And then there's this one. I don't want to pronounce the company wrong, so let me make it big. Boom. Being from Spain, has Jen ever worked with WIO tanks?
Say it again.
I'm assuming it says WIO. Being from Spain, has Jen ever worked with WIO tanks?
I have not. They're, I think, just kind of starting to come here into the U.S. I haven't had hands on any of them yet. So.
Okay. And have you ever competed in Spain before for an aquascaping event?
I have not ever been to Spain, much less competed in Spain. So,
well, Spanish fish keeping people. There you go.
Here you go.
You can be a keynote speaker right here.
That's right. I can do it. I will sign up for a trip to Spain.
He meant him being from Spain.
I figured that's what you meant, Daniel. Did I read it wrong?
It's okay.
And of course, Jen's website is also pinned in the top of the chat. So when you guys have a second, please go check that out because she's got really cool pictures of all of her tanks and stuff. And the events at the bottom, I am assuming, will be updated once she knows her commitments for the year.
I might not be very good at keeping up with my website. Sorry.
I figured someone fancy like you had a web admin that did it for them.
You know, that would be nice. Are you volunteering?
I mean, I do have web admin experience.
I feel like it's probably not a
There you
lot
go.
of work.
Oh, and Nightbot. Perfect timing to post a link. Yay, Nightbot.
There you go. Good job, Nightbot.
Have you traveled, besides Canada, have you traveled to any other countries for like scaping things?
Not officially. I did go to Colombia with my husband. That's where he's from. So we went down to Colombia and I got to hang out with Johnny and Sebastian down there. They're probably like the first big aquascapers from Colombia. So we hung out for a while.
Okay.
And that was fun. But other than that, I went to Bermuda. I spoke in Bermuda for the club in Bermuda. That's kind of fun.
Fancy.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Do you have a favorite type of plant, like rhizome versus stem plant?
Depends on how much traveling I'm going to be doing and how much maintenance I have time for.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big plan before you plant kind of person and try to be honest and realistic with how much time I'm going to have to keep it up. Because if you start slipping, it's really hard to get it back.
You mean you don't go on a plant site and just start adding stuff to the cart like I do, and then you get it all in a box and you're like, okay, where am I putting all this now?
I do not.
That's what I do.
There was a time, for sure, but I don't do that anymore.
Let's see. Leo, another question. Leo, you're just going to be the question king tonight, I think.
Yeah, man.
Your favorite fish you have and your favorite tank you have.
Ooh. So as of right now, like currently?
Yes.
I mean, I'm enjoying these guys. This is the Tanganyikan Biotope tank that I did last year for the contest. But in here, you probably can't see her. Oh, no, she's right there.
Make her big, Lefty.
I know, I can't.
Yeah.
She's exactly in the reflection.
Oh,
she is, some sort of a sunfish. This is my other biotope that I set up 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago for a contest. And it's from my local creek. So it's, I caught all these guys almost in my backyard. But she was bycatch. She was about a half an inch big, and we had no idea what she was going to be. So I was like, "You're a survivor. Let's see what happens." And now she's like 6 inches. She's a sunfish. So she doesn't realize that she's supposed to be aggressive. And she gets kind of bullied by the shiners, which is pretty adorable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
She goes and pouts in the corner sometimes because they're being mean.
Poor fishy.
She's a good girl. But she's always like, she's like a cichlid. She's always like right there. Are you going to feed me? Are you going to feed me? Are you going to feed me? Yeah. So
I feel like that's something everybody should do at some point. Do like a natural tank from their local area if it's legal where you live. I know some people have weird laws. Like I think Ed and James can't catch legal native fish because it's illegal or something. Which baffles me. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, bring live fish from the creek. They have to be dead or something like that.
They got some weird ordinance or something where they are.
Yeah, it's
stupid.
Odd.
Yeah, Virginia is actually really, really cool. You could have up to 50. I think they call them bait minnows. So it's basically anything that isn't anything that gets big. So I mean that's pretty lax. That's a lot of fish. So we have I don't know if you guys are familiar with Nick Kinzer. He's another friend of mine that lives about 15 minutes away. And he's got another collecting friend. So we all kind of go out and stomp around the creeks and bring back stuff, which is fun. It's also cool to see things in the natural environment. I really recommend that if you're trying to make an aquascape or an aquarium that's going to feel like home to your fish. I find that very important personally. If you go and see where they're coming from and where they're hiding and where they school and what the water behavior is and how the rocks are stacked, I think it makes a big difference to have that knowledge in the back of your head to be able to recreate it at home. Yeah, so like these guys. Well, so that tank, when I had more shiners, They also like to jump, as it turns out.
Oh.
Yeah. But when I had more, they were constantly spawning. So the way I set the tank up was with lots of crevices because they're crevice spawners. So I knowingly set it up so that they would have their natural environment. So there was always eggs. Of course, they would eat most of them, but I salvaged some a few times. And I grew up probably about 100 of them and gave them out amongst the club members, local people. So I got to spread them out around the club. So that was fun. Find a club. If you have a club nearby, join your club. It's a huge, huge resource for sure. If you don't have a club, make one.
Yeah, I slack. I got probably, I'm not going to say one of the biggest clubs, but Louisville Tropical Fish Fanciers is a pretty big club.
Yeah,
and I
it's
still
legit.
haven't made it. I haven't made it to not one.
Dude, come on.
I know, right?
I have one in Norwalk, and I haven't made it to one of their things either.
They're slackers. Big procrastinators left.
Well, see, I know here, 45 minutes in Connecticut is completely different than 45 minutes elsewhere because, if it says 45 minutes away, it can take like an hour and a half to 2 hours to get there.
That's here, yep.
Everything's just, congested to all get out in New England.
Mm-hmm. And that 45-minute drive time is only like 10 miles.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going, it's not like 50 miles away. It's like right down the street.
No.
Yeah.
I get you.
Make sure I didn't miss any questions. I don't think I missed any questions. Now, what's the difference between what exactly is a biotope?
Ooh, there we go. Something technical. Biotope specifically is obviously an enclosed slice of an environment that is literally everything from that environment. So if you're creating a biotope, you have to have the proper rock, the proper wood. I was going to say sticks, but that's just not a very technical every word. So all of your stone and your wood and your substrates. Some creeks are more of a dirt substrate. Some are more of a rock or sand. And then all of the inhabitants have to be found in the same location. So you can get a little bit loose where like it could be a little bit further down the stream. You can find them. They're not necessarily in the same spot, but they're in the same general location. But especially for a competition tank, they're very, very specific about that.
Okay.
But if you're doing it just for your home, so long as you have things that are similar, that's perfectly fine. But it's basically you're one-to-one recreating something in nature.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Leo's asking a very specific question now.
Yeah.
He said, since you know about biotopes, a Congo river with spotted Congo puffer, what would good tank mates be?
This question is, okay. Have you ever been to Fish Base? Or what's the other one? I'm drawing a blank right now. But Fish Base is a really good resource to find out where fish are from and what else is found with that same fish that you're looking up. So I would highly recommend going there and looking up your puffer and seeing what they're found with. And then you'd have literally the answer that you're looking for instead of me guessing, because that's not going to be the answer you want.
I've watched videos since I was looking at the same kind of puffer. It seems like the most common thing is just Congo tetras.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
If you're doing a Congo area, you just do Congo tetras. just
Congo tetras and the Congo puffer seems to be like the most normal and combination I've seen while watching things or looking into them. So
yeah,
Leo, just get yourself some Congo tetras because they're beautiful fish.
Any fish with the word Congo in it might
be your answer.
They kind of did the legwork for you, Leo. They put where it's from in the name.
We're only teasing.
I did also drop the link for that website in chat if you want to click on it, Leo.
There you go. Look at you go.
Also, hello everybody that has come in since we started. I know I'm kind of neglecting chat, but hi, how are y'all doing?
If y'all have any questions, tag Lefty so we can make sure we get it. That's him.
That guy.
Now, did you have a good St. Patrick's Day yesterday, Jen?
Sure. I didn't go anywhere.
We didn't either. We stayed home. We had our corned beef and cabbage and
Perfect.
Imported Irish beer. It was a nice chill evening.
What else could you want?
All right, just a whole bunch of chill.
Oh, now he's saying that his Congo puffer is extremely picky. Well, then maybe he just needs to be by himself, unfortunately.
That's what I was going to say.
Sometimes that's how they are.
Some fish just need to be alone.
Some fish are just jerks.
Some people also.
True, yes. I had a betta fish that refused to have anything in the tank. I tried ram's horn snails, and I watched him peck the darn snail. I'm like, all my other ones are fine with them, but you see a snail and you start pecking out. I'm like, okay, no more snails for you.
What a jerk.
Or my cories I had 20 years ago that killed tetras. You never would have thought. Yeah. Well, okay, this was so when I was a child, the way we cleaned our tank was you take everything out, put them in a bowl, dump the gravel, wash the gravel in a colander, clean the inside, they put everything back. So at the time, I did the same thing because that's how I grew up. So I put everybody in a big bowl, and then I watched like 4 cory tetras just start ripping fins off a Serpe tetra, and I was like, this is the strangest thing ever.
Yeah, that's not normal. But we know better than to clean tanks that way, right?
Yes, now? We do.
Very good. Well,
I remember my first time at the Clash, one of the guys that was there had owned a store, like I think he said back in the 70s, and that's what they used to do. They would drain the tanks all the way down, clean them out, and then refill them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's how we knew how to do it. Nobody knew any better. But that was also the time. Sorry.
Go ahead. No,
I was just going to say that there was also the time before all of this instant access of information that we have now. So, if you had a question about what you were doing, you had to find somebody who's an expert. You had to know them. You had to call them on the phone, hope that they answered. You might have to leave a message, and they might call you back.
And hope their answering machine wasn't full, and they didn't forget to change the tape.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe go to this.
You can go to the library.
Place called a library.
Yep. Go to the library. It's good times back then.
I miss going to the library and checking out books.
You can still do that. They do still exist.
Well, when we moved, I never got a library card for my new city. I still have my old one from the old town, but I doubt they'd accept it since I'm pretty sure it expired years ago.
Yeah, I probably need a new one.
Probably. Skuba, you were about to read the Keystone Clash question, weren't you?
Yep, go ahead.
You can read it.
Well, first, Crowntown wants to know, Jigglypuff, is Jennifer on YouTube? Does she have a channel?
I know the answer to that.
So do I.
No, she doesn't have a channel, but she does have a cool website and is active on Instagram.
Sometimes.
Yep. Sometimes on Instagram. But Keystone Clash want to know, does Jen have any event aquascaping advice for me, being that we both signed up for the aquascaping event at the Clash?
So we'll see you soon, son. Event, like day of advice?
Just any advice, I guess.
Sure, we'll go with that.
So we'll be doing it the same way, where you get to pick everything there. So you're not going to bring anything with you.
Okay.
I think what I would recommend, if you haven't ever done a live event, is to maybe sort of train yourself to be able to work in that environment where you just have like a sandbox or an empty tank and some hardscape, and you just challenge yourself to do hardscape in an hour, or do some sort of a training method so you can get more comfortable with using the materials and being able to work under pressure, because that's what it's going to be. It's a lot of pressure. And you just kind of get in your head and be like, oh my God, I only have however many hours. And then you wind up taking half of it doing something that you didn't need to take half of it doing, basically. And then you're really, really crushed and under pressure, and it can get really stressful. And I don't want to see that. I want you guys to all have fun.
Oh yeah, I signed up to have fun. I'm not taking it that serious.
Cool.
It's more so to have fun.
Yeah.
That's why I did it last year.
I'll be there. So I'm definitely around to ask questions. And only a few people took advantage of that last year. And
Carrie and I heavily.
Which is great. That's why I'm there. I'm not a judge, so I can help.
Sweet.
when I was told like the format, I literally was picturing Hunger Games where we just all were like in a mad dash for all the stuff, and you were like, okay, start, and everyone just kind of slowly walked over.
It was the weirdest thing. I was also expecting like elbows being thrown, but everyone's like, "Hey, do you like this piece of wood? It might go with the other ones you have." Like, well, this isn't how it works. What are you guys doing? Stop being so nice.
But I think the other problem, we all knew each other too.
Yeah.
There were like two of us that really did. There was the one club member. I think everybody else, we kind of knew who everybody was.
That's what I was about to say. Most of my buddies are people that signed up for it. There's like 3 people that signed up that I don't know.
That's cool.
That is true. Skipper is the muscle this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be relying on Skipper. You know it, buddy. I got your name.
I'm coming to Skipper with all my complaints.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, for those that don't know in chat, we have a giveaway we're rolling for tonight. We have 2 $50 gift cards to Buceplants. They were nice enough to offer. One was run through Instagram, so I've already pulled all the names from that. The other one's going to be live through chat if you don't have Instagram, so you have 2 chances to win. I'm going to roll the Instagram one now, get out of the way, and then we'll do the chat one here in a little bit. Let me push the buttons. This button. And then... There's a little fishing rod.
Skipper says, dump me in my tank.
All right, so this is Instagram. So good luck, people that entered on Instagram. I did Instagram handles, so whatever your name was on Instagram, if your name pops up from that versus chat names. So here we go.
Here we go.
Whoa! Yay!
My buddy Ed.
Yay, Ed!
All right, you all saw that happen live, so no one can say that it's rigged. So congrats, Ed.
Show up too.
You won via Instagram. Good job, Ed.
Nice.
And I have all your information, so I don't even need to ask you for it.
Awesome. He says rigged.
Now, have you worked with Boost, like the actual plant, before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When they first kind of appeared on the scene, gosh, when was that? Several years ago. They were so hot and so desirable. I mean, people were spending obscene amounts of money for like this one teeny tiny little piece of Boost. And now it's a lot easier to get your hands on. The biggest problem with Boost is that it's pretty much all wild collected except for tissue culture.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's kind of a big problem because especially back when it was like taking off immediately, the farmers, they'd say it was farm grown, but they'd just go out and strip whole, big chunks of it. And then they put it in a basket and grow it for a month, say it was farm grown. So that was a big problem, especially in the beginning. It's still a problem, but it's kind of subsided a little bit with the market having caught up. So the demand's not quite as high, but it is still definitely a problem. Specifically for Boost, because they're really only from that area, and they were just such a high demand that the price was worth it for the farmers.
Oh.
So, yeah, that was a problem.
Yeah, actually, I finally got my first couple pieces from John and Lisa when they started selling plants.
Oh, nice.
I've been looking at Boost for a while, and I was like, you know what? I'm getting plants from them anyway. Let's throw some in the cart, and I absolutely love it. And now I kind of want some more.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, it's a great alternative to Anubias.
Yeah.
Really. And if you have LEDs, I don't know if you have LED lights on those tanks with the Boost. If you look from the top, if they're kind of near the LEDs, you can see all of the rainbow colors in them. Oh. It's really, really, really pretty because they have like an iridescence to the leaves. Some of them are different colors, but it's really, really a cool thing about Boost that you might not notice unless you were looking really close.
I will have to do a top down sometime.
Yeah.
Sadly it's up here, so I have to get on my chair and then look over, but because I'm crazy and put tanks 6 feet in the air.
Just for looking, right?
There's also one of them I saw is like it's the amethyst Boost where it's like deep purple, like metallic purple. Does it stay purple or is it highly dependent on lighting?
No, they're usually pretty good about keeping their color. They're not like stem plants that have a lot of variability. Of course, if they're like really poor health or just struggling, they might lose some of their color, but usually they're pretty true to form, which is another cool thing about them.
Now, have you found in your experience Boost versus Anubias, which one's easier to care for?
No, I don't know that they're pretty similar. They both grow really slow. Sorry, which is the worst thing about them.
That's why you buy 50,000 at once instead of waiting and being, impatient like I am.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm right there with the patience level.
I don't have time to wait a year for the plant to grow an inch, so I'm just going to buy 4 and put them where I wanted it to grow.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep. That's how I do it.
Has there been, what was your most challenging scape you did? Like one that really, challenged you, creatively and mentally?
That's a really good question.
Just popped in my head.
Yeah, thanks a lot. No prep for that one. I don't know, probably because I have a very short-term memory. This guy right here, because it was so specific, and it was recreating, and I went of course overboard, and I got super dialed into a very specific section of this lake that is the only section of the lake that has this particular rock. It's completely different than everywhere else in Tanganyika. And yeah, I had to really just challenge myself extra because I can't leave good enough alone. Make things easy. So I called in some experts. Pam Chin actually was a really big advisor for me on this because she's been there. She's got pictures of everything. And she was just invaluable with me having the information I needed to do this. So,
and that was your AGA 2022 Biotope one?
Yes. Top 5. Thank you very much.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
I'm only asking because I wanted to make sure I pulled up the right tank.
Oh, very good.
She was at number 5.
This way.
There it is.
So do you ever get frustrated and have to step back for a minute and just have to go take a break or something and come back? And
absolutely. But you know what, for me, and it's probably this way for a lot of people, they just maybe don't even realize it, because doing anything creative is very mental. And you really, it's a lot of it is based on, where you are mentally and emotionally. A lot of times for me, I will get motivated and I will dig in hardcore on a scape. And that might be the only minute I have where I'm in that mindset. So if I stop and come back later, it might be a year before I'm motivated again to do it. And that's kind of part of the story with this one. I started it in late 2020, I think, maybe early 2021. And it just sat because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. And it wasn't until I decided I wanted to do a biotope with it. And then I was able to find that this rock was in that section of Tanganyika. And that was when it all spurred up and I was able to get the motivation again to work on it. But it sat half done for a year and a half. And I just couldn't bring myself to work on it again because I didn't have a spark for it anymore. And I wasn't inspired to work on it. So I think that's something that we all need to kind of be mindful of also. It's doing art is really subjective and it really depends on a lot of factors, not just the skill set. So don't be hard on yourself if you just don't like what you're doing and you take a break and you still don't like what you're doing. That's okay. It's okay. And sometimes you'll get a whole layout and you'll get a month and a half in it and still hate it. And that happens too. We're all human. It's okay.
Right. That's kind of why when I do my scapes, I kind of hold off on the glue. So I could take the rocks and the wood out and just switch it up or whatever if I feel the need to.
Yep. Yeah, that's good advice.
As long as it's nothing like a contest or anything where I'm using glue and I need everything to be held down in place and everything need to be secure. At home, I could just pull it all out and put all my rocks on a towel and all my wood on a towel and redo it all.
Yep. Yeah, and sometimes you just need to start over, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I often get frustrated and I have to step away from it. Not just with escapes, but with doing maintenance or just anything really. Sometimes
I don't know how long my mic is muted, but hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I must have pushed a button by accident. Yeah, I was saying I had to restart a paper one time. I was like week 7 of a 10-week course, and I hated writing the topic I picked. I just hated it, but I picked it because it was something different. And then I finally said to my professor 3 weeks before it was due, I'm like, can I change my topic and redo the whole thing? And they're like, well, I wouldn't normally advise it. I'm like, no, here, I already wrote like 5 pages of the 10 you need. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, it took me an hour to write 5 pages where it's taken me 7 weeks to eke out 4.
I think that might be a sign.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's just best to step back and restart.
Oh, that's interesting news Dr. Anthony just shared there. We have new undiscovered species of apistos and a new catfish our fisherman brought us.
How much?
Ooh.
That's cool. Very
How
cool.
much, he says.
I want to be the first one in the United States of America with those. How much? Oh,
Feel free to send them to me. I will put them in a contest tank and get you some publicity. That'd be great.
yeah. That's a good idea.
Is there a material you absolutely hate working with? There's the cat.
One of the cats. This isn't even the noisy one, so sorry. Hey, buddy.
No.
I don't think anybody in chat minds cat.
Good, because there's another one that'll be making an appearance. What don't I like working with? Dragonstone. I really hate
I agree with you there.
And you know, when it came out, it was so cool, and it's like everybody's, oh my god, I have to have it. Stone. The first time you see it, you have to have it, and you buy like Empire of it, and then you work with it, and it's like this stuff is awful. Hate it.
And it's so dirty. I just bought like 30 pounds of it.
Yep.
I want to put it in, and all the mud starts coming off.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. And it breaks down pretty easily. It'll start getting like really brittle. And it's really hard to work with aesthetically because it's very directional. If you ever look at it, it's definitely got a direction that it needs to be pointing and matching with everybody else in the tank. And that makes it hard to work with.
Yeah, like one side will be more smooth looking and the other side's more porous with your details. Well, at least on the pieces I got.
So here's Mr. Putter, in case anybody's wondering.
Oh,
so
look at the kitty. And when I was setting up the African cichlid tank, I had the Zero Stone and I had the Dragon Stone. For whatever reason, my silly behind was like, I want to go with the Dragonstone because Dragonstone sounds cool. And then I realized everything else I bought for the tank was like that slate gray color. And I'm like, why would I buy this multi-brown shaded rock when everything else is gray?
Yep.
And then I'm like, this stuff is really sharp and jagged. I really hope the fish don't cut themselves on it.
Yes, there's that.
My dojo loach is farting.
What?
Sometimes when they engulf air, they'll spew it out, and then bubbles will come out.
Oh.
And they'll spew them out.
Interesting.
I honestly say I've never witnessed that. Good to know.
I was trying to record them. I was like, what is all these bubbles? So you see me staring off over here.
Oh, Leo's dog is now looking for your cat.
Sorry, he's here.
I could go get mine, but they would just cry and hiss at me the whole time I'm holding them.
That's not fun.
These ones don't like to be held. They like to be pet
cats.
Just not picked up. It's weird.
He's good.
Cats. Cats
yeah,
and
that
cat
is
stuff.
cats.
For sure. Where you going, bud?
Anyone else have other questions? Because I'm trying to come up with questions on the fly now because I've been so busy I forgot to prepare any questions.
Oh. Oh dear.
So what's your go-to plant to scape with for like to fill in gaps with, or like for background filling, or for your like your foreground plant? Because I recently been getting into like the dwarf hair grass for like my shrimp scapes and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not no professional, but I just like it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I do love hair grass. The ones I don't like, I think it's vellum that curls back down, and it just always looks messy to me. But the straighter hair grasses they're awesome. They're very, very usable in almost all situations. So far as all the rest of it goes, it's going to depend on what kind of tank I'm building. If I'm building like a low energy low maintenance tank, I would say crypts all day long. Crypts are great to work with. And you can get all different sizes of them. And then if it's kind of a more high energy, high light tank, I do like working with Styrogani Repens. I find that to be very versatile, and it's a great kind of mid-ground, but you can also cheat it into a foreground if you've got a bigger tank.
Yeah.
And it gets kind of up in the nooks and crannies pretty nicely of rocks. I like working with that. And it's not nearly as fussy as like a HC or any of your carpeting plants. And then for like a background, I do like working with some of the Rotellas and Ludwigias as far as stem plants go. But if you're looking for something that's not a stem plant, there are still some really neat crypts that do stem plant kind of things. So if like the crypt Belense is a really, really pretty grassy looking crypt. It's got thinner leaves, but it grows pretty tall. That's a really neat one to work with. Yeah, that's my answer.
Good question, Skuba.
Yeah, good job. I had an answer for that one. Good job.
Leo is asking what your dream fish is and what your dream scape would be.
Lordy, dream fish. Here we go again. I don't know if you're my friend anymore, Leo. We gotta have a chat later. Dreamscape. Gosh, I don't even know how to answer that. I do, so far as fish go, I do like little tiny fish a lot. And the one that I haven't worked with yet is the Sundadanio. They're really, really, really pretty. And they don't pop up on lists all the time. They're pretty seasonal, but when you see them, they're just stunning little guys. And they come in, I think, 3 different colors. There's a blue and a green and a red, I believe. But other than that, I really, really enjoy the little blue eye rainbows, specifically the Luminatas, which is the red one with the blue stripe down its back. Those are so pretty. Yeah, those are really great. And they're just super nice fish. They don't bother anybody. They don't do anything bad. They just kind of carry on and do their thing. Don't bother anybody. So I do like working with them. I want to do angels again. I haven't done angels in a really, really, really long time. I would love to do a wild type. I just don't trust myself right now to be home enough to be good about maintenance. So for now, that's on the shelf. But it's a good, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. I want to do angels again. Okay, we're friends again, Leo. We're good.
I was going to say, you're back on the good side.
The Sundadanio one. What is the common name of that one?
I don't even know.
Is it the neon blue and neon red Rasbora?
Maybe. Yeah, it might be.
Personally, I prefer the blue one over the red one. The red, because I have the red, and they're just not as vibrant as the blue I found.
Interesting.
I've not seen the other two. I've only seen the blues and the reds for sale, personally.
Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't in person seen the green ones ever. I've only ever seen the blue and red. Hey, there's the other one. Making an appearance. Hi.
Should we plug Doc Anthony's raffle?
Yeah, Dr. Anthony's got his Peru trip raffle going on again, guys. So if Ahmad wants to drop his linkage, please go check that out.
I believe
that
it's $50.
I think that's a fish keeper's dream there.
And
yeah.
It ends the 31st of this month, I think.
So cool.
So I might pick up a ticket and see how lucky I get.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
Maybe you just need a dog so your cat, or a cat so your dog stops going crazy.
Sorry?
Oh, Leo said his dog's going crazy again for the cat.
Sorry.
Which I find it hilarious that his dog is looking for a cat that's on a computer screen.
Yeah.
Our other dog used to do that. If she heard a dog on like America's Funniest Home Videos or an old bicycle bell, those were the only 2 things that would set her off. She could hear a bicycle bell and would start howling her head off. But any other kind of bell, she was fine.
Very cool.
It was really weird.
That's funny.
Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the giveaway for InStream because I think it's been up for long enough. Plus, we only have like 1 or 2 minutes left because this hour has flown by.
Wow, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it has.
Click the buttons and share the right tab.
Look, ain't that neat? My ring light recharges.
Oh, fancy. Look at you being all fancy with the ring light.
It's
All right,
a
good
bag.
luck, everybody. This is for another $50 Buceplant gift card.
Good luck,
It is
20
US only because they only
entries.
ship to the US. But if you're not from the US and you win, you can give it to a friend if you are up to that. Here we go. Good luck,
You
everybody.
totally play for me or Jen.
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Oh, Leo, you
Cat's
were
voting.
so close.
Who's got
Oh, yay! See?
cat?
Oh,
Yay!
it's
Yeah,
Howard
buddy.
Cats.
You can thank, buddy.
So
Power of the
Buceplants.
cat.
Yes, that's cute.
Shoot me an email or hit me up on Instagram. Everything is at lefty32138, and it's an AOL email. So I am still old and use AOL.
Wow. That's impressive.
I love Boots.
Listen, I was using AOL Desktop's app until they started charging for it again.
Yeah, same.
But I was still used to it.
Wow. That's crazy.
So yes, congrats, Boots Cats.
AOL. Uh-oh.
And tag us when you do your, when you get your stuff, because I want to see what you guys got with your cards.
Was that to me?
That was to the people.
Oh, the winners. Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if that was English. I was like, is that a question?
That happened.
I might have slurred some words together there. This is only tea I'm drinking, so who knows?
Time up. It's an hour.
So I'm out of practice. Ed and I didn't stream last night because I had an interview.
See?
1 hour counting down.
All right.
Thank
So
you, Watch.
Ed's phone just said we have to end the stream.
I think Gina and Danny's live. I'm not sure if they're together, but Glassbox Hero Fishing Friends with Danny and Gina's reefs. So if y'all want to go check them out.
Ah, yes. Make sure you go to I tried to redirect, but there were no redirects I could do. So theirs must not have been ready yet. So yeah, the mod wants to throw their link in there. My email is lefty3213a@aol.com. Boots Cats. So yes, thank you again, Jen, for being here. It's always fun to have you on the
Love
stream.
it. Thank you. And congratulations on your new venture here. This is your inaugural Saturday night show, right?
Once a month we're doing them.
Okay, cool.
So
On the
every
18th month.
third Saturday of the month at 8:00.
Oh yeah, that third Saturday,
Very cool.
which happens to be the 18th a lot of the days.
Yes. And thank you again, Skuba, for being here. I always appreciate hanging out with you. And make
My
sure you check out
pleasure.
Jen's stuff and Skuba's stuff this way.
Check us out. Check us out. We're gonna post.
And we'll see y'all later. And have a good weekend, everyone.
Have a good night. Take
Good
Bye,
care.
night.
everybody.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Lefty.
Yeah.